everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got a fun one for you with the cheapest and best Commander staples out there right now that you can pick up for incredibly cheap. There is a card list link, of course, in the description below. Let's jump into them. First up, Counterspell, an oldie but a goodie from all the way back in 1994, and it has been, well, a staple essentially ever since. The, gold standard Counterspell, blue for a single, well, hey, you know what? You can't do that kind of a spell. It's an instant that says, well, counter target spell. That obviously, back in the days, like counter target spell as it's being cast. We've got some errated text, but still. This version specifically, for whatever reason right now, is just 25 cents. So do not walk, but run. Okay, don't run. Just like literally click on that link in the description below and pick this up right now. Because again, when it comes to counterspells, again, Counterspell is the gold standard, and this is a gold standard price right now for this gold standard card. So go pick it up right now. 25 cents is just a quarter. That is such a good steal for a staple that, again, will never be out of rotation. At least, for the near future. It may be in 10 years or so. Wizards prints, counterspells that do so much more. But, yeah, it's been around for 30 years, and it is still one of the most popular cards in Commander. Pick it up right now. Also at 25 cents right now, one of the best removal spells in Commander, that is Despark, an instant for just 2 mana in Orzhov. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. This is such a low-to-the-ground card again, and it gets rid of something permanently, and again, a mana value 4 or greater. Yes, there is a limitation, but yeah, typically when it comes to something that you're like, oh, I absolutely need to get rid of that is such a threatening card out there, it usually is going to be at that cost, 4 or greater. So yeah, again, just 2 mana. You don't have to save up that much mana to just leave up, on an opponent's turn and just, ruin their day, essentially. Again, instant speed with that kind of interaction. And of course, being able to just get rid of something permanently, your opponent can't get it back. This is a massive card, an amazing removal spell. And again, just 25 cents for this gem. Pick it up. Moving on, a newer card that is absolutely fantastic as well. We've got Stroke of Midnight. Stroke of Midnight is an instant for 3 mana in white. It says destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Just 24 cents now. This is basically a reprint in a way, or a re-envisioning, I should say, of Beast Within. Beast Within can get rid of anything, including lands. That being said, when it comes to your removal, typically you're not really focused too much on lands. There are very few times where you're like, yeah, I really need to get rid of that land specifically, and so you're willing to make that trade-off with this one. This one essentially says, hey, you know what, instead of that, I'm going to get rid of any non-land, but I'm only giving a 1/1 up. I only have to make a 1/1 instead of a 3/3. Yes, that is a difference. Again, we're kind of nitpicking here when it comes to like, oh yeah, which one's better between this or Beast Within? They're both amazing. That is not the point. The point is this is such a good staple and such a good price for the staple right now, just 24 cents. Pick it up right now and utilize it in so many ways to, well, again, remove some of your opponent's best things and replace them with a tiny little 1/1 human. Next up, Village Rites. Such a good card. An instant for a single black mana. Additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, and you draw 2 cards. Just 24 cents for this great card that, yeah, is such a good staple. It is saying, you know what, I'm going to replace whatever this creature is with some card advantage, and again, for a single mana. When it comes to drawing 2 cards, that's typically going to cost you at least 3 mana. I mean, well, 3 mana, basically, most times. And with this one, yeah, there is a quote-unquote downside to it, but again, for many decks out there, that's not a downside at all. Either you have a go-wide strategy with so many creatures, a lot of creature tokens out there that you do not care. You're like, yeah, I've got like 10 soldiers in play. Cool, sacrifice 1. Draw 2, again at instant speed. Or how about, again, a deck that's like Manor Aristocrat style deck, where you actually have creatures that you want to sacrifice, ones that will benefit you when they are sacrificed. You get other effects out there that benefit you for doing so. And so you're doing that, you're getting a benefit, and of course you're getting that card advantage. It is such a solid card, such a great card, and again, just 24 cents for this one. Pick it up. Speaking of aristocrat style, Bastion of Remembrance is such a solid card. Just 19 cents for this gem, an enchantment for 3 mana in black. When it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, and whenever a creature you control dies, each one loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is basically a reimagining of Zulaport Cutthroat in a way, essentially, but on an enchantment, so it is hardier. When it comes to the types of cards out there, again, the different types of cards, in my opinion, one of the hardest to deal with, or just, the more sturdier ones, are enchantments. Enchantments are cards that essentially stay in play a good amount of time. You usually need specific counter removal to take them out for the most part. And again, when it comes to most board wipes, those are like, hey, take out all the creatures, typically, like a Wrath of God style. So enchantments usually can last a bit longer than other types. Again, say like a creature, of course, yeah, a lot more flimsy than an enchantment. Artifacts, even, there's more removal out there for artifacts. But yes, enchantments typically stay out for a long time. On top of that, you do get a 1/1 when this comes into play as well, which again, in a Aristocrat style strategy, getting that creature fodder in play can be absolutely massive. So yeah, a great way to drain opponents, a great way to gain life, and of course, a great way to, well, add another creature to the pile, you know, another creature fodder to actually utilize with a deck like this. Next up, Morbid Opportunist. Just 15 cents for this card draw engine. A 1/3 human rogue for 3 mana in black. Whenever one or more other creatures die, draw a card. This build triggers only once each turn. Now, here's the thing. Yes, there is a limitation on this, right? It says whenever one or more other creatures die. Okay, cool. So basically, we are limited to just one per turn. Again, it only happens once per turn. Okay, so even if like 10 creatures die in the turn, only get one card out of that. That being said, this can trigger on every single turn. With each trip around the table, you can draw up to 4 cards very, very easily. And again, the restrictions aren't, you know, it has to be your creatures. Nope, it can be any creatures out there. It has to be a non-token. Nope, it can be any kind of creature, including token creatures, which of course makes this so much easier to get. So obviously, if you're in any kind of a strategy that's sacrificing your own creatures, getting rid of your opponent's creatures, or encouraging combat, or just, you know, you're playing it and you're like, yeah, creatures are just going to die throughout the game and I will get card advantage out of this. This can very easily give you an absurd amount of creature card value, because those creatures are going to get taken out. So all of a sudden you're going to have a full hand in absolutely no time, even more so sometimes. You are going to be getting so much value out of this 15-cent draw engine that your opponent's heads will spin. Moving on, a staple for a reason, Etali Primal Storm does so much for you, and it doesn't even have to be your commander. Now, if it is your commander, that is a blast and absolute fun, but if it's not, yeah, you can throw this into a deck and just say, you know what, I want some extra value out of things. Of course, you can benefit from, well, let's go through the card first. A 6/6 Elder Dinosaur for 6 mana in red. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of each player's library, then you may cast any number of spells from one of those cards without paying their mana cost. This is a crazy good effect on a good body. Again, 6/6 for 6 mana. You can swing pretty effectively and also get an insane amount of value. This is one where, again, yes, you can play it in a deck that specifically gains benefits from, you know, playing off the top of libraries and say, yeah, I can play from exile, I get extra benefits for doing that, etc., 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 or stealing your opponent's things. There are decks that do that too. That being said, just in general, getting potentially 4 free cards off the top of libraries is an insane amount of value for an attack. And of course, if you've got any kind of deck that has extra combats, there's even more in that. If you've got any kind of deck that doubles up attack triggers, there you go. Or again, if you've got, well, I mean, just, you know, extra turns. If you've got extra, well, I mean, combats that are going to happen throughout the game. You're swinging more than once with this throughout the game, and all of a sudden you are able to get an insane amount of value out of one card. Again, just 25 cents, and it is just so much fun to spin the wheel with this one and say, hey, what's on top? Or, you know, if you've got a deck that can actually set the top of your library, yeah, that's where things get really crazy with this one. Next up, Accursed Marauder. Such a solid card, and one that is just kind of a reimagining of older cards that basically, well, are just slightly worse than this now because this costs cheaper. This is basically a reprinting of, well, Merciless Executioner, those types of cards. A 2/1 zombie warrior for 2 mana in black enters the battlefield. Each player sacrifices a non-token creature. This is a great way to just say, you know what, Edict Effect, everyone is sacrificing a creature. Hey, even me. Oh, except I'm probably just sacrificing this because it just cost me 2 mana. It's just a 2/1. It's going into play and is leaving, and all my opponents are sacrificing things too. So it's a great way to just take out, well, important creatures again. It does say non-token specifically. So yeah, you are forcing that issue. But of course, also, I mean, again, if you've got something else in play you can sacrifice, absolutely do it. Again, if you've got like, you know, a tiny little creature, if you've got like a sapling token or whatever, cool. All right, sacrifice that maybe. But actually, sometimes it's beneficial to get this into your graveyard so that you can reanimate it. You can get right back out. You can feign death it to make sure that, hey, you know, when it dies, it's coming right back out and doing it again. There's a lot of ways that you can take advantage of this ETB blink spells as well. But yeah, being able to just go, okay, everyone, we're going down a creature, including me, but I'm getting all the value out of that. Again, in Aristocrat style deck, you're taking advantage of all those death triggers. You can get a lot of value out of something like this and keep clearing the board. Moving on, when it comes to value from sacrificing, yeah, Steve, sorry, Sakura-Tribe Elder, you're going to be getting taken out quite a bit. A 1/1 Snake Shaman for 2 mana in green, sacrifice it, search life for a basic land card on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. This is one where, yeah, you're going to be saying bye to Steve quite a bit. You play Steve typically on turn 2, and you're like, okay, Steve, get out there, go do it. And Steve's like, I'm excited, I'm great, I'm going to do great. And then all of a sudden, it's, almost your turn. And right before, your turn starts, on your opponent's end step, you're like, oh, by the way, Steve, yes? Okay, I need you to go away. What? Yeah, you sacrifice Steve, and you just basically have played, essentially, a Rampant Growth. Steve is basically a kind of a better version of Rampant Growth in some ways. Depends on the deck, obviously, if you care about sorceries more so. But still, it is one where, yeah, you get a little 1/1 body for a turn. It's a potential blocker that you can just sacrifice, essentially, in combat to just, save yourself a little bit. Or again, if you've got a deck that benefits from creatures hitting the graveyard, or one that can get creatures back out of the graveyard, you can do a lot of awesome things with Steve. That being said, again, Steve, you're not going to be sticking around for very long. You're going to be sacrificed, you're going to be getting me extra mana, you're going to be ramping me, and potentially, again, for a deck that can reanimate, that can bring things back, you can get even extra value out of Steve. But yeah, Steve is basically Rampant Growth on a body, and there's a reason why it is so heavily played. 21 cents is a steal for this one. Back in the day, it used to be like $1, $2 or so. So yeah, right now is a great time to pick it up. And finally, of course, there's Wayfarer's Bauble. This is a card that, again, at the beginning of my channel, well, it was a 12-cent card, and it was a card that I could include basically in any single deck I wanted to. But then, yeah, because Wizards never reprinted it, it was a card that spiked up to like $4, $5, $6 in some cases. Finally, they got the hint. They started reprinting it, and now it's back down to just 16 cents. Pick it up. It's an amazing card. One of my favorite cards of all time. Artifact for 1, pay 2, tap, sacrifice it, search life for a basic land card, put on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And this is basically ramp for any deck out there. This is land ramp for any deck out there, and it is so incredibly unique in that way. Basically, when it comes to land ramp, well, green kind of has a monopoly on the thing. Green says, no, that's what I do. No one else can do that. When it comes to Wayfarer's Bauble, you have an incredibly efficient way to do so. Again, turn 1, you play this. Turn 2, you ramp. And again, the great thing about this, even compared to, say, a Rampant Growth in some ways, is that, okay, like let's say turn 1, I play an island. Okay, I can still play Wayfarer's Bauble. Turn 2, I play a swamp. I can still sacrifice Wayfarer's Bauble right there. I don't even need any green to be able to ramp on turn 2 and get a land. This one just cares about whatever kind of land you have. You can utilize them to go ramp. So again, still on turn 2, you're able to ramp, you're able to get that mana. It's absolutely incredible. Wayfarer's Bauble is fantastic, and well, basically any deck out there that can utilize it. Yeah, there are certain decks out there that you shouldn't be utilizing it in, like a mono colored deck in some ways when it comes to mono green, maybe because there's other ones, but still all the other mono colors, yes. Yeah, I mean, this is one where it can really help you out a ton. It can also obviously help you out in artifact strategies too, but just overall, it's an amazing ramp spell. Pick it up. I love you, Wayfarer's Bauble. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. As always, comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.